Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning to your edge in the financial world. Today, I don't have any headlines. I worked on my car all weekend to get halfway through. 14 hours later, it's all torn apart and ready to put back together next weekend. But how was your weekend, David?
Busy.
Busy? I know you said you had some
Softball tournaments. Yeah, softball tournament. Well, I didn't get to go because one of the kids was sick, so I had to stay home with her. And then yesterday was all about cleaning up the garage and getting ready for moving. We're going to be packing for the next few weeks, so it's going to be a nice whirlwind around here.
Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
No,
Yeah.
probably not. If I had to guess, I'd say no.
Yeah,
It's
probably
not fun at all.
Yeah, well, the fun
But
part,
it is exciting at the same time.
yeah, the fun part is the unpacking process. We were like, this is our new place, and you're all excited about
Well,
it.
I mean, somewhat. I actually do enjoy going through all my stuff and seeing what I'm gonna take with me and what I'm gonna leave behind or trash. So it's been kind of like Christmas, going through stuff and finding old stuff. And when I moved in with my wife, it was during the whole lockdown stuff, and I've got a lot of stuff that I haven't seen in years since I moved in here. Because I mean, that's the whole reason why we're getting a house so we can have more space, and I get to have a lot of my stuff back. So I don't even remember what I have. So now I get to find out. That's why it's like Christmas, Say, oh yeah, this thing. I remember this. I loved it. What happened to it?
Well, that'll be
So
that'll
happy to have all
definitely
that
be
stuff
nice.
back in my life. Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure your kids will make it extra enjoyable because they'll find stuff and it'll just turn it into playtime.
No, we're not doing none of that. No playtime. Time to get to work.
Well,
We're trying to get out of here.
packing up always turns into playtime when you're a kid. That's the rules, David. I didn't make them.
My son yesterday made me so mad because we were cleaning up and getting stuff organized, and we had this box of peanuts. And he decided to flip the box over and just roll all around in the peanuts. And then I cleaned them up. And then 2 seconds later, he goes and dumps it again. So I threw the peanuts away.
I told you,
I was like,
David, I didn't make the rules. The rules when you're a kid of packing things up is this is playtime now. So
that's apparently that's the case.
yeah. Well, this is just coming from someone with super ADHD. So like sometimes I can think like a child, and that sounds like lots of fun.
I bet it does. Yeah. A lot of fun to you, but not to me.
Yeah. Well, it's not supposed to be fun for you. It's fun for them, and you're just supposed to take
Yes,
the
it
cute
is.
picture and then just try not to get mad.
And shared on the internet and act
Yeah.
like I wasn't wanting to strangle him.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, look at this. This was so cute.
Look how
I
cute
totally
he
didn't want
Look how cute he is making peanut angels, and I'm not trying to pack up the house or nothing.
to. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it goes. Oh well, parent life.
Oh yeah. But we can dive on in and get these people prepped for success. I've got the stock heat map pulled up and gives you a little time to look at what asset you might want to do after Bitcoin, because this Monday, with no headlines being had by me, we're just gonna dive into more TA. So I know username's in the chat, and he doesn't want to see near, so I'll take a look at that one. So
What's wrong with Nier? Why doesn't he want to see Nier?
he always gives me crap about near, so I had to poke a little
Near, far, wherever you are.
back. So on the stock side of things, we do have normal market hours, even though a bunch of the government is closed. So stock market's still going to be running. That's why there's no big data for today. We do have Apple that's sitting down 0.65% from last week. We got Nvidia down 0.01. We got Berkshire Hathaway up 1.16. We've got Amazon up 1.16. We've got P&G up 1.27. ExxonMobil is kind of finding some of its footing after
Footing?
yeah, yeah. Sound a little bit southern there.
Some Midwest.
Yeah. But
I see you.
it comes out sometimes when I'm like tired
Uh-huh.
and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
After
All good, brother.
some of the sell-off from last week, we've got ExxonMobil up 0.38 and its biggest competitor, Chevron, up 0.53. We've got United Health Services sitting up 0.06. We've got Tesla still continuing that sell-off after, some big data that came out for Tesla with its robotic taxi, its robo-van, and its personal assistant Optimus. I don't know if you saw that video, but there's some videos of it playing rock, paper, scissors with people, and it actually does pretty decently. So, scary.
I heard a rumor that it was that all of them were controlled. They weren't actually like autonomous. They were all being controlled somewhere else. Still impressive regardless, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not. Tesla hasn't come out and said whether or not it's true. But yeah.
I mean, it's still a headline. It still gets people to look at it, whether it's controlled or not. The animatronics of it are incredible.
Animatronics.
Yes, the how it's able to animate, how it's able to move its hands, how it's able to gesture, even if that was controlled by someone else, it's still decently fluid. It's not extremely jerky. I know they did say that the voices were controlled was someone else, but the robot itself might have been like doing its own stuff. So,
Bro, what is this reef token?
I have no idea.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is now going on 8 out of 9 weeks of just pure pump. Except for like last week. Last week was the only week. It's like, what the hell? And it's up 1,500%.
Well, is it worth a look at?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, so no. But that's still crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I derailed the overview because I'm just kind of amazed at what I'm looking at right now. But
Yeah,
Move along. Move along.
there's a lot of projects like that, and that's why I like yeah, you can make a little money off of it, but like there's so many people that just focus on those, and then they're surprised that they don't catch the next one and lose all of the profits they gained off of the one that hit for them. So
Yeah.
we do have Eli Lilly up 2.35%. We've got Microsoft up 0.12, Google's up 0.72, and Meta is up 1.05. On the crypto side of things, look at this beautiful sea of green we've got. Bitcoin's up 3.18, Ethereum's up 3%, BNB's up 1.47, Solana's up 3.7. I actually was buying at the last little bottom that we had, and I bought all three of those things: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some Solana. I also bought
Boo.
but at least I didn't buy Cardano. It's only up 2.07%. We've got Tron Coin sitting down
Dang.
1.66. XRP's up 1.5. We've also got Shiba Inu up 2.64, Avalanche up 0.86, and Toncoin up 1.93. I'm guessing username could probably guess what my other buy was, because it was definitely Near. Near's doing decent. We do have three Fed chairs speaking today. That'll be at 9 Eastern, 3 Eastern, and 4 Eastern. Other than that, there's not really any heavy data for today. We do have some heavy data going into next week. So, or the next day. We do have the UK that will be dropping their unemployment rates, which is going to be a nice little signal for what might be coming our way, because they paused and they're looking at cutting after their pause. And so we're kind of in that situation where we're looking at a pause. And, you know, we've seen the trend kind of continue. They are just a little bit ahead of us because they started cutting before us. They didn't cut as drastically, but, you know, sometimes America has to be that, you know, big energy, we're going to swing it around, cut 50% so that the rest of the world has to kind of pause for a second to see what happens, because the big kid on the playground decided he was going to do something
Well,
drastic.
we are the world reserve currency.
Yes.
So.
Well, that's why I'm saying sometimes you have to flex it on people, and you have to get other people to take a second to pause. And that's what they did. They made Japan pause. They made Canada pause. They made the UK pause. The European Central Bank didn't pause, but the European Central Bank was before ours. So they couldn't really pause when their meeting was the week before ours. They didn't know what was going to happen, so they just went off of their data, which is why now they're kind of in that pause mode. So they've already gotten to 50% though. So they're kind of in line with us. We had to catch up and be like, look, y'all got to hold on a second and let's let the dust settle. So other than that, for Tuesday, the next big thing will be the New York State Manufacturing Index. So that will be another little indicator of a sector of the American economy that will kind of make a big part of that gross national income, that will be more of a weight on them cutting along with the job rates. So we do have also the monthly budget statement that will be coming out tomorrow. There are a few Fed chairs speaking. Into Wednesday, we do have mortgage rates, normal stuff, just light data. We do have import and export coming out on Wednesday as well. So that one will kind of be our gauge for how GDI will be playing out, which I know Jerome Powell said that he wanted to take more of a look at than GDP. So just kind of eyeing what kind of income the U.S. is getting off of its exports versus its imports. And the big data going to be for Thursday. We got those initial jobless claims, the continuing jobless claims, and the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index. So we will have two manufacturing points coming out this week, one for New York, one for Philadelphia. These are more regional type things, so kind of just a gauge. We also have retail sales, excluding auto, month over month, so another big indicator, and retail sales month over month and year over year. That will include auto. So kind of the big data for the week, going to be that day where we do get some retail side of things after we got some decently positive the producer side of things. We will kind of see what kind of month over month and year over year that we're going to get from them. We do have crude oil stock change coming out on Thursday as well. So kind of just the overview for the week. We do have Japan coming out on Thursday as well with their core inflation rate year over year and their inflation rate year over year. This will be a big part of them deciding whether they're going to cut or whether they are going to hike in this next meeting that they have, or if they will hike in December. Kind of going to be a big part of things, because that core inflation was a big part of why they were why, along with their internal revenues at different places, they were going to be hiking their rates. So that is going to be a big one to keep your eye out for. Japan core inflation and Japan inflation year over year. That's coming out Thursday. Coming into the end of the week, we do have building permits as well and housing starts. So that will kind of be the big news for Friday, is kind of gauging where that construction side of things is falling on housing. So not a super heavy data week. Should be decently easy to trade. We will kind of see if Thursday comes and whacks us, though, with that Japanese inflation data. So I probably won't be doing any overnight trades on Thursday, because they have been kind of holding the markets hostage for the U.S. and Bitcoin too, because it keeps getting affected by that Japanese data, because that carry trade could really come back to bite people. We do have the liquidation heat map, where, let me just pull up the week. For the week, we do have, if it'll load. There we go. We do have no liquidity really on the top side or the bottom side that's really hot to grab. There's a few areas that have some light liquidity, like 61,793, and below that another little hot zone at 58,87. Other than that, it's kind of just wherever the maker decides to take things. It's not too hot to either side. If you drop it down to the month, you kind of do see that the hot spot is above us at 66, going all the way up to 67, and that would have been with our last top. And then we do have some liquidity sitting right below us again, that 58.7 really turns into a hot spot. So we'll kind of have to see if this could be another little local top type situation in the range before we bounce down. I know kind of goes into your longer term overview that you had talked about, where we might
Yeah.
head back down. And I I I think that spot could really be a point of interest. I I did a first buy on that last little bottoming that we got, and I definitely have a little more dry powder I would like to put back into the market. So
What's that fear and greed looking like?
the stock side of things is sitting at 74. It is in greed,
Hmm.
but it hasn't been moving. But for crypto, we are down 2 points from the weekend, but we are up about 20 points to back in neutral. And it wasn't really a massive move up, you know. It's 3% when we dropped 4%. So kind of a nice little gauge where we dropped the 1%, we dropped, what was it, like 12 points on the fear and greed, and then we dropped that other like 2.5% because it kept going down that day. We dropped that other 2.5%, and then we really saw that fear and greed tick down, and it hit that 32 mark. So kind of just something to signal what we might do in the range, because people are not very were very fearful on this. Let me measure that out from that top there to that bottom, which was a 9% move. We dropped to almost the 20s on the fear and greed. So that's a massive move down on that fear and greed. I don't know. If you want to give the people the Bitcoin overview for today, I will look at near.
Yeah, I'll
Since,
keep it real quick.
all right. Oh, there it is.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, my bearish thesis. Let's just go ahead and throw up the forecast real quick. Okay. So we see we are diverting away from my forecast. I said last week that this could happen. We could come up to the top of this range. The POC is still in play. I mean, all of this is still in play. The POC is of this range up here. That's the POC of that range. That's 66,945, about 67K. Coming up into first area of resistance here. Let's go ahead and turn off the forecast. This is still in play. This structure, though, is definitely different. So I might just have to go ahead and get rid of the forecast and start anew because we have deviated from it, which is fine, but technically still bearish. It's just not the exact outcome that I was looking for or that I thought we might get. So, you can only predict so far into the future. Apparently 1 month was long enough. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we are coming up to this first area of resistance here. We're already at that box now at 64,892. This little range up here. So just looking to see what we can do with that range. I would expect some resistance here at the 786. 65,526, about 65.5, the middle of this upper range up here. So would expect some resistance there. If we can break through there, get a close, and then continue higher, even better. But we still would not invalidate my bearish thesis until we break 70K. And so we'll keep that in mind. Do a little measured move here. If we play the conservative play, we do get up to this upper resistance here, and that would get us up to about 66,638 dollars, somewhere in there.
If we went not so conservative and went a little bit higher, if we go from the breakout, then the measured move takes us to about 67,986. We do have an 886 there at 67,629. So I would expect this to be some heavy resistance as well. And then we could see this thing really roll over and then just start to fall and put in that Japanese carry trade again. And if I go ahead and I take a bars pattern and I take in the Japanese carry trade that happened back in August, and then move this over here and just put it where that we could end up here. Look at that. We do get the sweep of the low. So that is still obviously in play. If we do the conservative move to the upside, we can see that we obviously still sweep the lows here. And that gets us to around 47 to 47.3. We'll call it 47.3. So yeah, and if I just go from that fib, that gets us down to 47.9. So, but it's still a sweep of that 49K that I'm still expecting. Again, unless we break that high, then we can see the deviation come up a little bit higher. And yeah, I still think we're going to get some type of corrective move eventually. But right now it is trying to suck me in and turn me bullish. So that is how I know.
Sorry about that. Let me unmute myself. I've got Near pulled up because username hates Near and doesn't want to see us, never wants to see it, and he just wants to have me tell him when to buy and when not to buy because I hate Near too. So we never actually want that. But no, I'm kidding. I love Near. It was my biggest gainer on the beginning half of the bull market. So we do have some curvature on our inflow outflow. It is now kind of at the point where the red is lightening up. You are seeing curvature on your prime oscillator as well. And your MACD has some heavy curvature to where it could now end up crossing on the top side of things, which would be a nice move up back above this 50% retracement line and continuing on to the upside. This will be heavily dependent on what Bitcoin does, of course, but as you can kind of see, we could reclaim this 50% line and try to beat out these last local highs that we did. And once we get above that, that's that $5.83. That was heavy resistance at the end of September. It was also heavy resistance back here in July. So reclaiming that $5.83 range is going to be extremely important for us. It looks like we're definitely going to make a move towards that though. I'm kinda looking at that range being reclaimed. I did end up making a buy down here at that second low. So that was the, we hit the 480, the $4.40 range, but I ended up buying around 4.5. I wanted to see $4.60. So as soon as we kind of broke below that, I was ready to buy. I was kind of gauging to see if we'd get all the way down to the $4.33 range, but it didn't look like we had the strength to keep that sell off going. So I ended up buying at that $4.60 range, and I've been riding it up ever since. We're now back up to $4.80 and that 50% fib retracement. So definitely a nice little move up off of it with some solid momentum behind it. There is still a little bit of sell off if you drop it down to like the hourly chart. You can kind of see that we'll probably get a slight little rejection off of this point, but we do have some nice divergences. So your inflows are looking nice. Your MACD is getting a little bit of curvature, but you do have the prime oscillator, which is heavily green, and we will probably end up continuing that upside movement. Let me get you pulled back up on that stream. I've got you pulled back up. So if you have anything to say, the people can definitely hear it. So,
Can they?
Yep. Yep, they can definitely hear that. With that bounce off of the 50, I would kind of look back here at these last lows that we had made, and I was at $4.75 range, which would be a nice little bouncing point to push back up above that $4.83 range. That's that level that we need to reclaim to continue our upside movement. Let me toss that back over to you, David. You can kind of finish your little thing, your little Bitcoin overview that you were doing.
Yeah, so all right, guys. So a little bit of just a little tad bit of some Elliott waves here. So I'm just looking at this. So if this does turn into a low time frame impulse and we get a move that looks like something like this, let me go ahead and turn the line back on so you can see it. Let's make it yellow. There we go. Super cycle, intermediate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have put in a little bit of an impulse here on Friday, and then we got to pull back over the weekend. If we can get this third wave, if we can get this push up, and we can break 70K, and we can get a pullback of some kind, maybe not even that deep, and then we get another push up to give us a fifth wave. Bear thesis invalidated for sure at that point. And then on this correction here is when I would look to enter a long because I think we are going much, much higher. So that is what would invalidate my bear thesis. But for now, it's shaping up or could be turning into just a simple ABC correction. And then next thing you know, ABC's on the way, all the way down. ABC, 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 and then that final move down. I know it's ugly, but hey, we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm just that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. So yeah, I was pretty much close to being wrapped up. So might as well move on to something else.
Do you want to just hop into the next little thing that you had pulled up while I get this soul chart looked at?
I didn't really have anything pulled up, but I can go over something else on Bitcoin, and if it'll act right, there we go. All right, so something that I've been watching is the open interest over here. We are back at what would I call it? Japan carry trade levels, which was right here. This is the Japan carry trade. This is when it happened. We had that nice spike up, and then everything rolled over on our open interest. So open interest is just your open
leverage positions in the markets, both long and short. Right now, we can see that our spot volume's coming down while our cumulative volume is coming up. So this is kind of showing us that our perpetual longs, are what are pushing price up for the most part overall. But if we come in, we can dig in a little deeper. Let's go down to the 15-minute and take a look at this. And so what I've been wanting to see, so we can see some down movement here as we are pushing up. So we are seeing some shorts getting squeezed here on the lower time frames with some spot volume kind of increasing finally. But we also have the cumulative, we'll just call it the perp volume, still sitting here, kind of poking up a little bit. So it's a little bit of spot and perp driving price now. So I do find that a little bit interesting. But right now we are still sitting in my danger zone for the open interest. But hey, what can get us out of that is a massive short squeeze to take out this wave or this top over here, and if that pushed this open interest down and we got rid of a lot of the froth in the market, I mean, I would definitely start turning a little more bullish. So yeah, that's what I'm watching on that. If we get some perp volume to kind of die down and have our spot volume pick up and be what's driving price, that would be fantastic. I would much rather have spot volume driving price than leverage positions driving price, because when leverage positions drive price, this is what happens. Okay, so that is definitely, because we could see our spot volume back here was kind of flat, even kind of down a little bit, while our perp volume was moving to the upside as this was moving to the upside right before the Japan carry trade. Same with the open interest moving to the upside. While spot is just coming down. And this is 4 different exchanges. I mean, I got to add Coinbase. This is Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, and OKX. So it's 4 different exchanges, and we can see the sell-off has just been going on all throughout here. So while our perpetual, which is just going to the upside, so along with our open interest, so it's just showing a lot of froth in the market that has the potential of being wiped out, because the froth does like to get reset. And then once we get it reset, then we can see some healthy price action. So, but yeah, that's all I got for that. Throw it over to you, PC.
All right. Well,
Hello?
can you hear me? I've got Solana pulled up. Let me swap over to my screen real quick. There we go. I've got Solana pulled up. This is a weekly chart right now. So I'm going to kind of just run it from the higher time frame to down where I would look at making a trade. I've got the week pulled up, and we are seeing some curvature on our MACD, which is indicating that we could definitely see some more heavy side moves up. We do have us approaching those last local tops that we have made. You are seeing the outflows kind of still be a little heavy, but mind you, this is a weekly chart. You are seeing your prime oscillator finally green again on a weekly chart, where it has been red since March. So definitely something to keep your eye on. You are seeing on lower time frames, if you drop it down to the daily, you can kind of see here this MACD has already crossed on the top side of things. So your prime oscillator is pointing back up. You do see the lightning on the money flow, and it is now, instead of a light red, it is now ticking towards that light green. This is what we want to see. I did make a buy back here at that 140 range. That's that 50% line on a fib continuation. So it was kind of another level I had my eye on. My last buy was back down here at 124 range. So I was kind of looking for my next little buy point, and that was a decent one because I'd been focusing on Injective because it was sub $20, and I didn't feel like I'd ever really see that again going back into a bullish sentiment. I knew there'd be more time to kind of find decent buy ranges on things like Solana. And I'd also focused a little bit on Near because, username's been bringing it up a bunch. If you drop it down to a 4-hour chart, here's where you can kind of see that it looks like we're going to get a little bit of a pullback here. So if you haven't already entered on the bottom over here, you might get another shot at that. This little range was very tight, not a lot of up down from it, so this could definitely be a nice area to pull back down to. You saw heavy selling pressure over here as soon as we popped out of the 146. So $146. All of this right over here was heavy selling pressure. And you can kind of see here where it's a fair value gap if you drop it back down to that daily time frame. This is all a fair value gap. So we're sitting right above that, and we could easily pull back into that because this right here is sitting right at the top of that fair value gap. If we do end up coming back down to that, I would look at maybe seeing 140 again before we continue that movement upside. Because you got to remember, on that weekly chart, those inflows and outflows were still a little outflow heavy. It was red, as these smaller time frame charts are showing that we're starting to get some inflows. So the pullback is a good possibility for a continuation while that weekly chart switches over its indicators to show more bullish. We do have the top side of the range sitting right there and coming out at that next fib line, which is 172, which is kind of my eye for the real pullback afterwards if we do end up seeing a pullback. And that will be very Bitcoin dependent, as you saw LBC's kind of overview of how bearish things might get. That's kind of all I had for Solana. That 146 range being a potential bounce point when we see this little pullback, because that 4-hour chart is kind of showing that things are a little bit overheated. You do see that oversold on the prime oscillator, and if you drop it down to a 1-hour chart, that prime oscillator is already on its way back down. And we'll just have to see if that's a consolidation or it ends up being a pullback. So there's your MACD on the hour, already kind of setting up for that curvature. Already set up with that curvature and a potential cross on the upside. So I don't know if you had anything else, but we are at the bottom of the hour. It is 6:30.
No, I was just looking at the Dixie. It's coming up on some resistance, some key resistance. So be looking at that. So just watching that Dixie real quick because yeah, we are coming up on some key resistance. Let me go ahead and pull a fib from this high to this low. Yeah, we're at that 50 percentile right now. Could get up to that golden pocket up here at about 103.80. Also have another area of resistance up here. I believe this is a fair value gap at about 104.96, 105. So I mean, we could still see some more upside on the Dixie, but I do think we are getting very close to wrapping this thing up as well. This is on a weekly chart, so this could play out into the first week of November, like I'm kind of expecting. And then, we get a nice dump, and then we go full on up only mode. But right now, Dixie's kind of giving us a little bit of clues that we could be seeing. Well, it's breaking. Oh, it's breaking that 50 percentile. It's already broken it, actually. It's breaking it again. So we could see some more downside. Let me make sure everything. Okay, so we are right at it. Okay, so if this starts to break up and a little more, it's inverse correlated to risk on assets. So that means we could see risk on assets either go sideways or down. Sometimes they like to ride together too, so you never know. But if this does break this resistance and start moving up quickly, then I would expect some downside across the board for risk on assets. So we'll see. Kind of getting that first initial pump, and then we're going to get a nice little dump. And then after that, it's off to the races, and we're off to the moon, and we're going to be going to the beaches of the moon and riding the waves. Ain't that right, BC? Let's go ahead and wrap this up because I got to go. What you know about that beach life? You muted. What you know about that beach life?
I know absolutely nothing about that beach life. The only time I've been to a beach was in the winter in California, and I put my feet in the sand and felt the cold water and ran away. I was like 8 years old though. So the Pacific in the winter is not an amazing time. But I am definitely looking at the same kind of thing that you've been looking at. That's why I started clicking the buy button when we hit those lows, because I was ready for the move on out of the range. Because November has been my time frame for the last little buys that I'll be making with my dry powder, and everything after that will kind of be I'll still be buying some, but most of my dry powder will just be anything extra left over on paychecks, and then moving money around from different assets to catch the more swings that groups of assets do together. So, if D-Pin's moving, I might move some of my powder over from a certain project to catch the other D-Pin projects in the sector that might be moving a little bit harder. So that's kind of all the rest of I'll be doing for the bear market, because I'll be fully allocated and it'll all just be paycheck throwing in little bits of money. But thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you to everyone that showed up today. We greatly appreciate you. Check out the links in the description. We've got tons of deals for you. That was kind of a cool little...
That was weird.
Yeah. But we got some links in the description that you can check out if you like coffee or you like the indicators that we use. Also check out later today the Market Morning Open Report with Piper and OC Guy. That will be at 9:30 Eastern. And we've also got TradeFly coming back with FD White tonight at 8:30 Eastern PM, and that will be the Crypto Nightcap Show. So, you got anything to wrap the people out?
Nope, I gotta go.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Everyone wake up.
It's gonna be a great day. Mad love.